And joining us now on this India Today special broadcast is Dr. Tara Kartha, former director of the National Security Council and an expert on matters Pakistan. Ma'am, welcome. With Sandeep Punithan stays with us on this broadcast. Ma'am, what do you make of Pakistan's drone probes once again today? They've targeted several cities, virtually probe missions quite like yesterday. What is Pakistan attempting to do in your appreciation?
I think this might sound a little odd, but I think they are reserving their fire. There's a lot more they could have done in this interim period, which they haven't done. I mean, to us sitting here, because we are unused to this, right? We are unused to anything at all, like anywhere close to this happening. But if they are, then they are in it for the long haul, or it's a continuous nuisance value which they will inflict on you over the long period of time. These are the two options they have. But then what is coming up, as you know, is the IMF meeting, which has IMF has its own what shall I say, its own parameters, its own what is the word? The what it's supposed to do. It cannot, by its charter, fund a country which is at war. That is, I mean, you read the IMF charter. It says sound economic and stable policies. Is that what Pakistan is doing now?
But it's
So
very
there
interesting. It's very interesting, Doctor. The fact is, India has abstained from voting. I just read Jairam Ramesh has tweeted saying India should have voted against Pakistan, and he's tweeted strongly saying this was an opportunity to say no to a loan to Pakistan. Now we don't know whether they'll get the loan or not. But are you linking that to what we are seeing over the last couple of days? I mean,
No.
you seem to be suggesting that Pakistan is in for the long haul. Now that's worrying at one level. Are you saying every day they're going to try and do these drone attacks? There surely must come a time when they realize that it's not getting them anywhere, or is the attempt to provoke India into a wider conflict?
See, that's what I've been saying on your channel, that they have been trying the whole pattern of events has been trying to push you into a conflict. And we've been very, very careful. We are going step by careful step, step by careful step, and they're trying to goad you. But as of the last, maybe, I mean, since this is a 24-hour developing thing, I'm wondering if I get the sense they're holding back their fire. They're not using their top drones. You see, so if they are not using it, either they feel it's not yet time, or they're not willing to escalate. But till date, from the date of the Pakistan Army's chief, that ridiculous speech, to the Pahalgam attack, to the events as of now, I don't so far see a single step back. So the only
That's an
assumption.
That's an important point, that they're not taking a step back. Sandeep, how are you seeing this? Are you seeing this as a gradual escalation day by Pakistan to goad India into a wider conflict, India showing restraint?
Absolutely, Rajdeep. And I completely agree with Dr. Tara Karta's assessment of the situation. Pakistan seems to be holding its high-end drones, as any military would do.
For what?
They would not expend it for the real
Future
conflict,
conflict.
if it should break out. So what they're sending out on these probing missions are really the low-end stuff, the cheap Chinese drones that, a few $1,000s, the kind that are used by professionals. DJI Mavic kind of drones, the same kind of drones that they use to transport drugs and ammunition into India, in Punjab and in Jammu and Kashmir. That is the kind of probing missions that they're sending out these drones for, to test our defenses. And of course, they don't want to use any of their top-level, high-level, the cutting-edge Turkish drones, the military-grade drones, that they want to keep aside for a contingency which could unfold in the next couple of days. But, like I said earlier, Rajdeep, this is what they're building up, a predictable pattern of activity, drone activity, possibly to lull us into some kind of complacency and create some kind of a smoke screen through which they could then punch in fighter aircraft or cruise missiles or what have you. But it clearly demonstrates one thing, Rajdeep, that, if you've seen the statements that have been coming out of India's side over the three big statements that Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri made over 3 days, every one of those statements has an element of de-escalation built into them. But despite every such statement, the Pakistanis have chosen only to escalate, to continue with these kind of attacks, these kind of probing missions, sending drones into Indian airspace. And they're very clearly demonstrating their intent to play this in the long, play this game over the next couple of days, Rajdeep.
But, if I may, Rajdeep, Dr. Tara Kartha, Pakistan does not have the kind of funds that are required to be in a sustained conflict. Or is Pakistan being bankrolled, the way Ukraine was being bankrolled to fight Russia with weapons being given by NATO? Are weapons being given to Pakistan, as we very clearly see, from their air defense system to their fighter jets, to their long-range missiles, to their drones, either by China or by Turkey? And India made it very clear today that India knows they're getting their drones from Turkey. So Turkey is playing a very dirty game here as far as India is concerned, and China has been playing a game which is subpar for a very long time. So are we then actually in a way fighting China through Pakistan?
That's a very interesting question. As far as I can only go by evidence. Their weapons have come from Pakistan for years. So has their nuclear capability. So has their missile capability. That's been going on for years. Say in the last 10 days, what have we seen? We've seen statements supportive of Pakistan from China. We've seen some excellent intelligence from Pakistan. I don't know where that's coming from. So I'm just giving you the facts as I see them. They predicted your attacks 2 days ahead of time. And some other aspects as well. Their drones are the reason that the missiles which were supplied to them, the P-18s, I think
the PL-15, the long-range air-to-air missile.
Yeah. I've heard there was a so-called calculated leak which I saw. I think it's a calculated leak which said that the missile supplied is not in the full range. So let's see where that goes. I honestly don't think China would want us to go to open war. But this kind of debilitating drone attacks, they'll be okay with. So that much we can go on. But there is also two interesting aspects. One is they've talked of the recent IMF report has talked of a 38% increase in remittances. Who gets 38% increase in remittances? That's amazing. Number two, is that in our exercises of going through the park defense budget, the economic budget throughout the thing, I remember we saw one footnote, that was all, which said military loans to Pakistan from China, I forget how many billions it was. It was just a footnote. Then again, we went through the whole budget. I couldn't find where that money was. So
very interesting, Rajdeep.
So there is this conspiracy theory that's been doing the rounds about the China factor.
Yep.
I asked that to Fareed Zakaria as well. Fareed felt that China has much to lose by getting the two countries also drawn into conflict, even though he also reminded us that India has so much more to gain from peace at the moment than Pakistan does. You've got a virtual basket case on one side in terms of its economy, and you've got another country which is poised to perhaps take full advantage of the turbulence that is taking place in global economies at the moment. And therefore, this is a moment for India to maybe find a way to get the Pakistanis back on track to ensure that they do not allow these elements within Pakistan, their army state leadership, to try and derail the efforts that are being made to somehow de-escalate, or indeed to ensure that India is allowed to take full advantage of its position in the world economy. So I think the next few days, this China factor, who is funding this entire Pakistan campaign is going to be asked.
And whether India can actually outthink and outdo them in the manner in which some of the war efforts have gone on so far. Because remember, if Pakistan is trying to provoke India into escalation, Rajdeep, don't you think the Narendra Modi government has succeeded in not being provoked into an escalation? They've succeeded in striking the terror, launch pads, training camps, headquarters, struck at their defenses, and yet that escalation hasn't happened.
I think the challenge is, can kinetic action and strategic restraint coexist?
Oh, absolutely.
Can you use your moments for restraint, and can you use your moments for kinetic action? and can you choose them wisely? Dr. Kanta, we've run out of time. Good to have you on the show and throwing up some interesting observations there. Sandeep, wonderful to get all your insights. Thank you very much. And Gaurav and I have gone through 2 hours without arguing with each other, which is quite an achievement.
Well, you know, it's absolutely, but I agree with everything you say anyways.
You and I had a dispute, had a debate over whether Kashmir was at the heart of this entire, that the long-term solution was in ensuring peace in Kashmir. And of course, that has been picked up by right-wing Twitter armies to suggest that Gaurav has put me in my place. Maybe he has. But either way, I think it is my belief that eventually the long-term solutions lie in ensuring peace in the valley. And we can discuss those solutions at another day. But at the moment, the focus is on Pakistan's attempt to try and provoke India, and how India has consistently, over the last few days, resisted those pressures to allow this conflict to escalate. We've had a pretty difficult night for those living on the border once again. Our thoughts and prayers at the end of the day are with those people. Whether you're in Gurdaspur, Avantipura, Poonch, Rajouri, Arispura, Uri, these are the places, Amritsar, these are the border towns, cities, villages where people have had to face the brunt of these drone attacks. It is unacceptable when innocent tourists first are targeted in Pahalgam, and now you are having innocent villagers. Why should someone in a Gurdwara have to suffer in the way they did in Poonch, or indeed in a school, a missionary school in the area? That is unacceptable. Pakistan needs to wake up somewhere and realize whatever you're doing, you are ending up only discrediting yourself by targeting innocent civilians. That is not the way civilized societies act. But we'll leave it at that. Thank you all very much for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good to be here with you.